Hey everyone, my name is Gurpreet Gill from Gill22, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the most controversial topics in trucking, which is dispatching companies. Now, if you go to any online trucker forum or even just look at the comments under this video, you'll see that people on both sides of this argument have very strong opinions, but in this video, I'm going to clear up once and for all if dispatching companies are a scam or if they're actually useful. Real quick before we get further into the video, only 20% of you watching right now are subscribed to the channel, so if you're interested in making more money in the trucking industry, I would definitely recommend scrolling down and liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on post notifications so you never miss a new video. Alright, so first and foremost, let me just get this out of the way. Gill22 is not a dispatching company. You know, we're a trucking company that leases on owner-operators that have their own truck and trailer, and we have a business unit that provides dispatching like a dispatching company would. The reason I have to make this clear right now is just so you know that I have no bias towards one or the other, you know? So if I say anything negative or positive about dispatching companies or leasing on to carriers, I am only doing so because it's my honest opinion. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. You know, I'm very open-minded, so I'm always open to changing my mind and having a discussion. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's just start with the basics. So what is a dispatching company and what do they do? Basically, a dispatching company is just a company that provides loads for independent owner-operators for a small fee. So that means if you have your own MC, DOT, and insurance, and you have your own truck and trailer, you can contract one of these companies to find loads for you while you focus on growing your business or just getting familiar with the trucking industry. If you can take away anything from this video, let it be this one thing. Working with a dispatching company is not the same as leasing onto a carrier. When you contract a dispatching company to find loads for you, you are the one in power. You know, the dispatching company is working for you and they're operating under your MC, DOT, and insurance. But what this means is if you were to get a ticket, if you were late to a shipment, you know, if you damaged the product, it would be your insurance and your company at risk, not the dispatching company. Now, when you lease onto another carrier as an owner-operator, the carrier is the one in control. Obviously, this is because even though you own your own equipment, that doesn't really matter because the insurance risk and the company risk is completely on the carrier. If you're leased onto a carrier and you damage the product or you get a ticket, it's the carrier's insurance that goes up and it's the carrier safety score that drops, not yours. This difference in risk is reflected in what both businesses charge. So typically, a good dispatching company will charge you anywhere from 8 to 12% of gross revenue, whereas a carrier that you can lease onto will charge anywhere from 22 to 25%. Now, there are companies that charge less, but companies charging less than these figures are often not good or experienced, and companies charging you more are just flat out ripping you off. Another thing you need to take into account is the services that each business is providing. With a dispatching company, you're paying to receive a consistent stream of loads. You know, you tell this company what you want, where you want to run, what companies or products you want to avoid, etc. And a good dispatching company will be able to tailor a system around you. However, the reason that they're able to do this is because 99.9999% of the loads that they'll provide you will come straight off of a load board that you also have access to for a few $100s per month. Now, on the other hand, when you lease onto a carrier, you're more than likely going to work on dedicated routes that have already been contracted with shippers, which means you'll make 15 to 25% more than a similar load on a load board. I'll explain how this works in just a few seconds, don't worry. Anyways, back to what I was saying. You're not only making more money, but you're also paying for risk protection when leasing on with a carrier since, again, your company and your insurance is never really at risk. These are just the main services each business provides, but They both have additional services that they can, offer. But generally speaking though, carriers are able to provide more for owner-operators than a dispatching company can, but it comes at the cost of control and cost of price. So now that you know what a dispatching company is and how it's different from leasing onto a carrier, let's talk about the question that most of you are probably asking, which is, which option makes me the most amount of money? The best way for me to answer this is to just run you through an example. So let's say you have three options, okay? You can either work by yourself, you can hire a dispatching company, or you can lease on to a carrier. Now, let's just start off with the dispatching company option first. So let's say the shipper is willing to pay $3,000 for a load. If you're working with a dispatcher, this load will first go to a broker who will then list this load on a load board for 15 to 25% less than what the shipper is actually paying, because obviously the broker has to make money too. So for this example, let's just say the broker takes 25%, which leaves $2,250. A dispatcher that you hire will then take this load and book it for you, but remember, you also have to pay the dispatcher his fee, which can be another 8 to 12% if it's a good dispatching company. For example, let's just say it's on the higher end and it's 12%, which leaves you with $1,980 in gross income. Now that's not too bad, but another option you have is to obviously book a load yourself. You will generally follow the same steps, except instead of a dispatcher finding the load on a load board, it will be you negotiating rates and spending your time to find loads. So technically speaking, you're just making back that 8 to 12% that you would have paid a dispatching company. However, that's if you're as good and experienced at negotiating rates as a dispatcher is, which is a big if. For this example, we'll just give you the benefit of the doubt and just say that you're really, really good at negotiating, which means for this load, you will make $2,250. Now, if you were to lease onto a carrier, the process slightly changes. Instead of getting loads through the broker, the carrier will typically be large enough that they're able to do business directly with the shipper. This means that you have a straight pipeline to the shipper and don't have to indirectly pay money to a broker. However, you also have to remember that by leasing onto a carrier, you have to pay around 22 to 25%. For this example, we'll say the carrier charges 25% of gross revenue. So 25% of $3,000 leaves you with $2,250. The same amount of money you get by booking loads off a load board by yourself. In other words, by leasing on with a carrier, you'll not only make the same amount of money as you would if you were independent, but you're also protected from risk and don't have to source these dedicated loads yourself. So essentially, you're doing less work and you face less risk for the same amount of profit. At this point, you might be thinking to yourself, well, the only two options that really make sense are either going independent or leasing on with a carrier. These dispatching companies have to be a scam, right? In my opinion, no, they're not. Dispatching companies are meant to serve a very specific purpose. If you're a solo owner-operator with no plans of having your own fleet of trucks, you don't need a dispatching company. If you know how to speak English fluently, you don't need a dispatching company. If you don't mind brokers calling you at 2 a.m. asking for an update, you don't need a dispatching company. If you're comfortable with the idea of spending 4 to 5 hours every day trying to negotiate rates with brokers, build relationships with them, and track spot rate data, then again, you don't need dispatching companies. A dispatching company is meant to be used as an employee. You get to delegate out this high value, moderately skilled task of booking loads, which will generate a consistent stream of revenue for your business and allow you to chase the high value, high skill opportunities, such as securing shipper contracts and growing your fleet. Now, that's not to say that you should only work with dispatching companies if you have big plans for your business, because again, if you're someone that struggles to speak English fluently or someone that wants to maintain control but have less stress in your life, you should also consider working with a dispatching company. You may be the type of person that doesn't want to lease on to another carrier because you don't want to give up control, but you also don't want to spend 4 to 5 hours every single day arguing with brokers and trying to figure out what today's spot rate is paying. Here's a really important lesson that I learned a while ago that I think would be important for all of you owner-operators watching, whether you're new or experienced. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can book loads for yourself off a load board doesn't mean you should. Make no mistake, as an owner-operator, you're running a business. So whether you have plans of growing this business beyond yourself is your decision, but nonetheless, you're running a business. As a business owner, you need to delegate stuff that you either don't want to do or stuff that takes time away from the high value, high skill tasks that you provide as an entrepreneur. This could mean something as simple as driving a truck, or something a little more complex like running a fleet of 100 trucks, Every owner operator can benefit from working with a dispatching company or leasing onto a carrier. However, whether you should lease on or hire a dispatching company depends on your specific situation and goals. Anyways, as I mentioned at the start of this video, Guild 22 also provides dispatching for independent owner operators and opportunities for leasing onto our company as an owner operator. So I'm not going to bore you too much by talking about all this. If you're interested, you can find more details at the link below and also apply there. Our drivers love us, our owner operators love us, our shippers love us, basically everyone loves us. Anyways, apply on our website, and while you're there, you can also download any of our free templates that we offer. We have templates that will help you make more money in the trucking industry, whether you're a driver, owner operator, broker, dispatcher, doesn't matter. Check it out and feel free to download any that you like. I think you just need to provide your name and email, and that's really about it. Oh, and last but not least, if you made it to the end of the video, let me know by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It's a free way to support me and help the channel grow, so I would really appreciate that. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.